Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Waffle Press Hangouts. I'm your host, Diego Crespo. This is a very different episode because the world is a little different right now,
Yes.
and the foreseeable future of this podcast is still gonna go. So we're still gonna keep being here, but we're the future is a little weirder right now.
Yeah.
The present is very bizarre.
hmm
So this will be a quick little announcement on that. People like Gene and I are going to be hurting a little bit
Yeah.
from the coronavirus quarantine
hmm
things. So please check out our Patreon if you can, or just share the episodes that we share all over social media, just to give us a little boost, please,
Yes.
because I hate to ask, but we could use it right now.
Yeah. Save me from unemployment, which is looking like that.
Yeah, not a great feeling. That's my co-host Gene. He's here with me
I.
as always.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Good to
you
be
doing,
here.
Gene?
I'm doing good. I'm not sick or anything. That's certainly good. I'm in good health.
Yeah, I
Uh,
had a head cold last week and I was
oh yeah.
scared the shit out of me, but I'm like great now. And I
Uh,
also did not go out when I was sick,
That's
just in
good. Yeah.
case.
That's
So,
very cautious, and I would hope everyone would do that as well.
yes, please, because this will be coming out the day after we're recording. This will be Monday morning. So, everyone, please take precautions, wash your fucking hands,
Mm-hmm.
check up on people, and be good to each other
Yeah.
because sometimes things are bad, but we don't have to be bad to each other. Speaking of good things and good people, we're
hmm
here to welcome friend of the show, the EIC of Saint Audio, Staley. Hello, how are you, my friend?
Hello. Well, thank you for such a lovely intro. I am doing great. I'm glad that you're not sick anymore. And, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. We're happy to have you here. You and I
Yes.
go back a couple years from audienceseverywhere.net. That's like where half the guests for this show come from. I'm picking up people. I'm like, hey, Richard, you free? Hey, Matt, you free?
It's like the Muppets 2011.
Kinda,
Yeah.
yeah. That's kind of what this podcast has become.
Yeah.
Which Muppets are all of us? Like, what
Oh
Muppet
God.
energy do you
I'm
feel?
Beaker.
Your Beaker. I could
I'm
see you.
100% Beaker.
Oh man.
Yeah, that seems right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a few. I think like Sam Eagle is always a favorite of mine. He's always just
I
like
love him.
besides less conservative, but just kind of his sarcastic demeanor. Always like Sam
Mhm.
Eagle. Um.
Yeah, that seems
Yeah.
right. That's like,
Gonzo. hmm
oh, Gonzo's the best. Love
Yeah.
Gonzo. He's a great guy.
And
Seems
can.
like a
mhm.
fun bud to hang out with.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's some sort of alien apparently. But can we all agree the best Muppets was Muppet Treasure Island?
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
good
Oh,
one.
my
Best Muppet
God.
movie with Tim Curry.
I haven't watched that in like a long time. Honestly, I think the last Muppets movie I saw, not that I'm like a Muppets connoisseur or
hmm
anything, but was the one with oh my God, the guy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, whose name I just blanked
Oh
on completely.
yeah, the Muppets
Oh.
2011. Jason Segel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, I know it's Jason S something, and I was like, I was gonna say Sudeikis, but I'm like, I know that's not right. I know that's not right. But yeah, that's the last Muppets related content that I have interacted with.
Yeah.
So
Disney. Yeah, Disney does not like the Muppets. They are
yeah,
oppressive to the Muppet fans.
is it like puppetist?
Yeah, they're puppetists. Bob Iger, yeah, he hates puppets.
It's oppression. That's what it
Oppressed.
is.
Yeah, they're oppressed. Like they haven't
Yeah.
had like new
Yeah.
content in 5 years.
You know what? Pour one out for the minorities of the felt doll world.
Yeah, honestly, they should really just be all the Disney remakes. Do them with Muppets.
With Muppets, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's right there. That's
that's
all you gotta
real
do.
diversity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bob
Mm-hmm.
Iger doesn't like the Muppets or Tron.
We're
He hates both
trying.
He does.
fandoms.
He hates Tron. I'm like, how do you like? You realize there's so many cool things you could have done with this, right? Like,
Yeah, he keeps like vetoing like all the sequels or TV shows or whatever. He's
Yeah,
just like,
I don't get it. And Tron's a good subject to bring up because we will be talking about the best film soundtracks and original scores, or at least our favorites of
yes.
the entire medium.
hmm
Because Staley, could you talk a little bit about what Saint Audio does? What your kind of corner of the internet?
yeah, definitely. So we are, I like to call ourselves an online music magazine that reports on all types of music and music news from around the world with more of like a socially conscious perspective. But we also like to touch on like music and how it interacts with other industries, including film. So we've done some interviews with composers and music editors, and it's been really cool. They're called Screen Sounds. It's like a series on the site if you want to check it out.
Nice.
Link down below on the description for the SoundCloud and YouTube. And we'll definitely be tweeting out about that too as this episode goes on. And just check out everything Staley's doing, and especially with Sane Audio, because like it's the good stuff there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I love doing it, and it's definitely like something that it makes me feel really good when I hear people say that they like it, and it means a lot to have the people out there that are reading it and supporting it. So thank you, or thank you in advance.
And another topic of discussion that we're here to talk about today is, so you're looking for more quarantine hobbies, and this is going to be our new segment on the show where it's basically we just renamed like what we're watching. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we've seen recently in theaters, home video, what we're reading, what TV shows we're checking out, and because theaters aren't going to really be an option for a lot of us right now, we could all just kind of talk about what we've seen since the last recording. Gene and I, we recorded last week. We haven't done like back-to-back week recordings in a while, huh? Yeah, feels good. Did you see anything this week, Gene, before this happened?
Yeah, I saw The Hunt at Beyond Fest. They did a screening with Damien Lindelof, who's doing a Q&A, and I was really glad that The Hunt finally came out. It kind of was going the way of New Mutants, where it keeps getting postponed and everything. And
that poor film.
Yeah, I know. But I was really surprised by the film because it's very nuanced. It's not as sort of shocking and controversial as it got labeled because this is the writer who did Lost and Watchmen, which was amazing. I love Watchmen. That was my Mandalorian when everyone was loving on that. I was like, you should watch Watchmen. But yeah, it has a lot to say about the political divide. It has a lot of criticisms to give. Certainly a lot of right-leaning people, and then it has a lot to say, and I really appreciate it for it. And one of the best fight scenes I've seen in a while towards the end. I won't spoil it, but it was amazing seeing that fight. I won't.
Staley, what have you seen recently, or what are you checking out recently this last week?
Oh my God, I have a whole list.
I'm
prepared for this segment. So when my anxiety gets really bad, I am like not really watching anything of quality. Been watching a lot of reality TV lately. Mm-hmm. So my roundup is one, if you have not watched it, Love is Blind. That is the show to watch. You will binge it probably in 2 days, but you know what? That's 2 days of entertainment in the quarantine.
Okay. I keep hearing good things. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's very entertaining. It's very like messy, but like without being sad, which is where a lot of other reality TV shows start to go after a while. Like I love 90 Day Fiance. I've been watching a lot of it lately, but I'm on season 3 of Before the 90 Days, and there's this character named Darcy that's been on several seasons, and it's like at the point where it's like, I feel like we should stop letting her come on the show. So Love is Blind is like fun reality TV where you don't feel guilty watching it, and then 90 Day Fiance is like fun within limits, and then it starts to be like an experiment in like human misery, essentially. But the other two like really good like feel good reality shows that I would say to watch are $1 Million Pound Menu and Instant Hotel. Like those are just brain candy. They're amazing.
All right, well, I'll have to check them out. We're gonna have time, so
yeah.
Oh, I forgot one more. Last one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Have you seen Devs yet?
I have not, but I'm very looking forward. That's the Alex Garland show, right?
See that, yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. They've aired the first 3 episodes, but it's only 8 episodes, but they only do 1 new episode a week. It's really, really good. I think you guys would be into it.
I love Alex Garland, so I'm really looking forward to that.
It's supposed to be kind of like a companion piece to Ex Machina, is what he said. So like, I want to hear like your perspective on it and like what you think of the show.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued, and there hasn't been any Alex Garland like a movie or anything in like since Annihilation too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, he's someone I've admired for a long time. Like I
Mhm.
think 28 Days Later was the first thing I saw that was like that was written by him,
Mhm.
and to date, that's still one of my favorite films. Like it's
Yeah.
obviously very perfect for now. That would
Mhm.
be like a recommendation for me to all of you to watch 28 Days Later,
Yes.
because
I don't
it's
know. I don't
no,
know.
it's very dark,
Like
but it's also
Chris.
very uplifting because it's
Okay.
about human like decay, but
Yeah.
it's also about what happens when they come together. You know, very it's hard too in hard times, but it has an uplifting message at the end, which is not always the case with horror films of that genre. Not that there's anything wrong with that, as long as there's a point to it, I think. But that's a
Yeah.
very special one for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty fair. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Need to watch like more uplifting things, especially right now.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to watch Come and See on the big screen this
Okay.
last week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for those that don't, I need to make sure I get this fucking director's
Yes.
name right. Okay, I'm giving my best shot right now. Come and See is a 1985 Russian film directed by L.M. Klimov, and it's an anti-war film about uh, the Nazi occupation of Belarus,
Okay.
and it's told through the eyes of a young teenager named Flora,
Hmm.
and it is wow, it's probably the greatest film I've ever seen. Like that, this might be the one. This might be the one that just takes it all as the definitive film you need to watch if you want to like learn about movies as empathy machines, because it
Nice.
will like destroy your soul. But it's not something I like hate myself for watching either. You know, it's not like misery porn. Like I
Mhm.
really don't
Oh
like
god.
movies like I really don't like movies like Cannibal Holocaust and
Oh.
stuff like that, where I'm just like,
Oh
this is like noise to me. Like you're just
yeah.
trying to be edgy. Come and Sees has enough humanity in it because it's a film about like the attempts to drown out humanity,
Hmm.
and you need to be in the right headspace for it. If you're in a vulnerable place, don't watch it because it's very hard to sit through at times. But I also think it is an important film, and it's remarkable. I think it's getting a Criterion release later this year, like an updated release. I won't recommend you go out to the theater to see it now. Sorry, but like, it is wow. I am words do not do it justice. You just need to see it. Wow. I words fail me. It is so good. On a lighter note, I think I'm going to start rewatching Terriers because Terriers is a show that I've annoyed Gene with
Oh
for many
god. Oh
years,
god. For
and
like 10 years, yeah.
yeah, literally 10 years.
Something
It came
like
out
that.
10
Yeah.
years ago
Mm.
this year, so I have to do it now. And I'll finally have time to do it. Terriers was just released on Hulu. It used to be on Netflix, and no one watched it there. So I'm going to make you all watch it on Hulu and keep up with me on day-to-day episode recaps and reviews. It's 13 episodes. It's Chinatown by way of Ocean's 11, and you'll feel good about that too. You'll feel good watching that show and having completed a wonderful little neo-noir mystery.
Mhm.
Check it out. There you go. That's my recommendation for now.
I've been
Nice.
influenced. I'm sold.
Yes,
Yeah.
everyone
Oh,
join me. Join me.
oh, I'll finally check it out now.
Yes,
Make you happy.
thank
Peer
you.
pressure.
Yeah, I'm gonna start bullying people. That's what bullying needs to make a comeback. That's what this is.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Sometimes bullying is good.
Yeah, my whole thing lately is that like I'm joking about that, but I'm also like, we just need to bully the right people. You know, don't bully people that like are suffering or helpless. Like bully like rich white kids.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know.
Exactly. Bully them for one specific purpose, which is to watch Terriers on Hulu.
Exactly. You know, who's
That's
running for president this year? Who's seen Terriers? That's my vote's going to.
it's a Terriers nation we live in now.
Yeah, exactly. Sean Ryan, if you're out there, I got your back, buddy.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I guess that's it for recommendations this week. Unless anyone else has anything else they want to toss out before we move on to the soundtracks.
Oh,
Good.
yeah. No, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, here we go. So, what defines a great soundtrack? What defines a great orchestral score? What defines music? Here today that's what we're here to talk about today. I fucked that up really bad. I'm gonna keep that in though because I want people to know that this is an authentic human podcast where mistakes are
Just a
valid.
man.
I am just a small man. I am not a god. I listen to music through one ear hole at a time. And
That's a good one.
yeah, just one at a time. I don't do both. Even right
I
now.
did it nostril by nostril, so.
Oh, okay. I mean, hey, everyone's got a thing, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So, like, when you think of a great movie score, Staley, I'm gonna toss it to you first. We're gonna swing big here.
Well,
what comes to your mind?
This is like so subjective because like I'm definitely, not an expert, but to me, when I've been listening to scores lately, I like them, and even like listening to them both separately and within a movie. I think it's really interesting when a score can be very immersive, but it's also telling a story on its own. Like you don't want your music to overpower your story, but you don't want to fade into the background either. So I feel like in a way, a really great score is almost like another character within the movie.
I like that read.
Yeah.
I would actually agree with that. And then of course the famous like meme online is like Star Wars without the score, and it's just like the most awkward thing ever because everyone knows now like Star Wars was a film notoriously saved by editing.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, sometimes like if you really need to, it could be the single missing ingredient. But generally, I agree with that. Like it shouldn't overpower anything. It should be complementing it. It should be like almost like a choir to what we're watching on screen.
Yeah, like and like I feel like I should differentiate because there's a lot of things, and I guess again this is subjective because what I think is good or impactful is probably different than what other people think. But I think of movies like all of the Avengers movies, just like all the Marvel movies, like all like the music works really well within the movie, but it's so forgettable. Like you walk out and there's nothing of substance in it. So it's like it fits the mood really well, So it's like it's finding that way to kind of differentiate yourself that like you're thinking of the melodies or like thinking of a way that like sound was used in a really like dramatic or moving moment rather than just like, well, I know what I'm supposed to feel because this like big swell happened, but I don't really care,
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same impact.
Yeah. Why do you guys think for the Marvel films? Because some themes are like memorable, but they're not like you could hum it like the Indiana Jones theme or Star Wars. Like, I mean, for like Iron Man, it took him like 2 movies to even get like a good like hero theme.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't know, because like sometimes I think maybe if there had only been like 4 or 5 Marvel movies, maybe the score would be a little more impactful. And like, I guess I do remember the melody of like the main Avengers theme, but I feel like they kind of beat me over the head with it in the past 2 years, Like,
yeah.
I feel like they were really like, we gotta make a point here. Like, we gotta have people remember this like an Indiana Jones or like a Star Wars, but like it just never had that effect. It never really had any great melody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I mean, even like I feel like some themes are like, too memorable. Like they're almost like too iconic to forget about. Like in Justice League with like Danny Elfman just like repeating the Batman theme for Batman. Which I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool because he's like, well, there you can't really beat that.
Oh yeah, exactly. What? This wasn't in the show notes, but this isn't a topic conversation I've been thinking about a lot lately. Danny Elfman said that when he was recording Justice League, like Gene was saying, that like if there's already a character theme established for the films, that should just be the character theme for their film adaptations. I don't entirely disagree with that, but it depends on what the filmmakers are going to attempt with that version of the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about that?
Well, I guess I was just gonna add for Justice League, we could all agree that music certainly wasn't the movie's problems, right?
No, I like the music in that movie.
Yeah, I think I am really inclined to agree with Danny Elfman. Because if you look at that movie where like it does like a weird evil Superman theme from the John Williams score, and like that theme, like it's like embedded in your head, like, oh, that's the Superman theme. It goes dun 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 dun. Yeah, I just think it's kind of like it just goes with the DNA of some of the characters at this point, with like the public like conscious um, thinking of these characters and remembering them. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, I just like I feel like with these like super big franchise characters, like you're always going to see them as the franchise characters, so why not use the same theme? Like it doesn't matter if it's going to be evil Batman or like,
Mhm.
good whatever, like, going through a tough time Batman. I'm using Batman a lot, but Batman's gone through all of the different dark moods, but
Oh,
Mhm.
totally.
like he is the superhero world's emo king. Um
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, like, yes, you can make them moody, you can make them whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Now I'm walking back. Now I'm changing my mind because, I don't know. Like, I will say that depending on the director and like how the movie like comes together entirely, like if it is more of like an art house Batman,
Mhm.
like Robert Pattinson is
Oh
shaping up
yeah.
to be,
Mhm.
that I do feel like maybe a really like a John Williams type score is going to sound real like out of place in that type of movie,
Yeah.
but you could still work with it. I think you could take parts of it and like bring that into the character.
Mhm.
That was a lot of ranting. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no.
No.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think I think we're all generally on the same page here. Is what's
Yeah.
important too. Is like it'd be nice to have a recurring theme. Like honestly, like I don't hate the Spider-Man theme in the MCU, but like
Yeah, I don't
once you
either.
once you have
Is
the
it?
Elfman
Isn't it?
theme,
Isn't it just the like? It's just the '60s theme.
no, no, no,
You
it's
got-
the dun 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 dun
Oh, okay.
dun
Because I
dun dun dun
remember.
dun dun. It's cute, but once you
Yeah.
have Elfman's like Spider-Man trilogy
Yeah.
theme, like you're not.
I.
It's like
I.
Superman. You're not getting
Yeah.
better than that.
I could have
Yeah.
sworn in Homecoming he uses the do 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 do.
He does it for the opening like
Oh, okay.
titles,
Okay.
but
So
like
it's
it's
just
not.
kind of
Yeah.
it's just kind of to be like cutesy or something.
Yeah, yeah, it should have been like this is regular thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're not going to go down the MCU
Okay.
rabbit hole anymore.
Sure. Sure.
But I want to read some quick tweets about people's favorite scores and soundtracks from at the Amity Dolphin Pilot, a friend of the
Okay.
show, and
All right.
Pain and Gain, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Hereditary, and Interstellar. Interstellar specifically is the
Yes.
one I want to draw attention to because
Yeah.
I'm a little cooler on that movie than
Mhm.
Gene is, but the score
Okay.
is like magnificent, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love the score in that movie. I can't stand the sound mixing.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely Nolan's weakest there. But
Yeah.
I think that's Zimmer's like best work, and it's also
Oh,
like his
yeah.
most quiet too,
Mhm.
which is funky. I think people it's like acting, people assume that they do the most and that's like the best of it, That's why like everyone
Yeah.
loves Leonardo DiCaprio, who's a good
Yeah.
actor, but he's acting very loudly, And
Yeah.
Zimmer can go big too, like he
Mhm.
invented the Inception bomb,
Mm.
and that was like in every trailer last decade.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
Well, I was
got
gonna
multitudes.
Yeah, because I was gonna say the quietness in Interstellar is just like it really strengthens the where there's music, and I feel like, at least just in my opinion, just like working with like some composers on like my own short films, like if you look at like Man of Steel, where there's like loud, like all the score like all the time, and there's just like all these loud noises, like it gives you a headache.
Yeah. At Too Much Telly, Pride and Prejudice 2005, and Inside Llewyn Davis. Those are very good ones as
Ooh.
well.
Mhm.
Let's talk a little bit about our favorite soundtracks then.
Yes.
Favorite film soundtracks, which is not the same as a score. So we're like this is the obvious choices would be like Pulp Fiction or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mhm.
Staley, what do you got for your favorite soundtracks?
Oh man. So I kind of went all over the place, like just ones that I liked when I was younger, trying like first like kind of getting into this, like music and
Mhm.
everything. Um so the first one that I like of course really loved was Space Jam.
Right.
Oh my
it's a
god, I just watched that last night.
like I have a bunch of scores, like original soundtracks written down, but I think that it's for soundtracks, the ones that I really liked were of course Space Jam. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist was like I feel like my first like awakening or like new awakening into my obsession with music. Like I definitely like wanted to move to New York after that movie when I was like 16. So that soundtrack was very influential in my teen years. I also really liked the soundtrack for Love, the Netflix show that was on a few years ago. It's most of the music is done by this guy called Lyle Workman. We did an interview with him a few years ago on Sane Audio, but it's just like it's like a really good compilation of music. Like it's good to have on in the background. Like it feels very like homey, like cozy. It's a nice listen. And then I think the soundtrack I've liked the most in the past like couple years is the Spider-Verse soundtrack. I mean that's an awesome.
Yeah.
That's just a great like album in general. You know what I mean? Like the music in that movie was perfect like hip hop pop crossover just goodness.
Yeah, it has like a lot of like diverse like eras. Like it has like Biggie Smalls and like Kendrick Lamar, I believe. Yeah, it has like it's an amazing soundtrack.
And you know what makes that one really like drive it home too is that it doesn't feel like a movie soundtrack. It feels like something that would be on Miles Morales' playlist.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so true. I like that because like I was about to say I also really liked the Black Panther soundtrack, and I did, but it felt a little like, or looking back, it feels like super like just like ultra commercialized, whereas like the Spider-Verse one feels a little bit more real to the like true to the character.
Yeah. I was also gonna add for the Spider-Verse soundtrack all the original songs, so like Spidey Bells.
Oh yeah, they got all those too.
That was pretty fun.
My god, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that, but yeah, I you know I've been listening to a lot of like film scores lately, just because I think they're interesting to try to listen to like on their own because that's kind of how I judge like what's good or what's good to me because it's like you're listening to like a composition, you're listening to a story, but it's just a musical story. So I've been really into the soundtrack for The Invisible Man, which I haven't seen yet.
It's great.
Ooh.
It's really good.
I know. I'm like, maybe they'll release all these movies onto like streaming or something just to make up for the losses in the theater.
Maybe it's tough to call.
Yeah, I think they just released like Frozen 2 and Rise of Skywalker online early.
Yeah, I mean,
that's neat.
Yeah, it would make sense,
No one cares about Rise of Skywalker.
Hey, there are fans of that movie. I don't think we're really among them, but they're out there. It's subjective.
Yeah.
Subjective.
All tens of them.
All tens of them. Aw. I like stuff in that movie. I like stuff in that movie. It just doesn't work. I still haven't
seen it. I saw the ending, and I was like, because of course you saw it like what 30 seconds after it came out in the theaters on Twitter, but like I saw the ending. I was like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, no, the ending they botch it really bad, man. But like
I'm like, you know what? Love prevails over genocidal dictatorship. You know what? That's the true message of this movie. It's so what are they thinking?
I'm so mad.
J.J. Abrams can't write an ending to save his life or a sequel apparently. Yeah. So just don't hire him to do sequels anymore.
Do like the first movie and then get him out of there and never lock him out of the room.
Honestly, just do
get out of here.
One.
It's like
things to do.
It's like
you gotta salt the snail. Just salt him.
I was gonna say it's like kicking out like a dog. It's like get out of here. It's like
Shoo, boy.
Go back to your kind.
I think that's I think you have to refer to J.J. Abrams as a dog now forever.
I think so because I think he's a good boy. I just don't think he's that clever.
It's like the stuff he says. It's always about Palpatines and Skywalkers.
Man, it's like, bro, this wasn't even the first movie you did.
It made no sense. I'm not even like a hardcore Star Wars fan, and even I was like, this feels like Mad Libs. Like from everything I read, it's just like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh god, yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, back to
speaking of which, though, the Star Wars soundtracks are, scores. I guess we could just hop over to scores really quick.
Yeah.
We could just kind of hop back and forth. I guess it's not really important, but like, those are kind of like the franchise scores. You know, like
Yeah.
John Williams is he's kind of the
Yeah,
boss.
the god.
He's a god. You know.
I feel like John Williams probably like would have someone killed. I just get a weird vibe from him.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
he's too powerful. I feel like if you get to that amount of power, you definitely like maybe thought about having somebody killed.
All
Like
Yeah,
right.
there's just no way.
He sees like an up and coming composer like threatening his reign. He's like,
That's you should go into sound design, man. That sounded like a real whip.
"Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, John Williams, cool guy. I don't know why I said that. Maybe that reflects more on me and what I would do with that amount of power. I don't think it does, but I'm just a very paranoid person now. I've been in my house for 3 days and it's getting to me.
Yeah. I finally got out of the house today, so my
That's-
sanity levels.
That's smart. I've been taking walks, so I guess it's not
Yeah.
entirely true, but even then, like I haven't like had a vocal conversation with anyone in like 36 hours. So
Oh
this
man.
is like a lot of human interaction for me, and it's good for the soul.
Yeah.
Glad
No,
to help
we're
out.
here to help people through
Yeah.
the apocalypse.
That
That's
is
all.
such a sad sentence that I said on this recording.
All right.
Anyway, I do have friends. They just don't call me.
Oh.
Oh no.
So scores. What about scores, guys? Let's talk about those.
Great scores. Sticking with franchises. I really love Zimmer's score to the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy.
Okay.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
know
very
people
good.
have differing opinions on the quality of those 3 films. I find great enjoyment in all of them. And holy shit, someone please, for the love of God, if you have Gore Verbinski's Bioshock script, my
Oh,
email is in my Twitter description.
No.
Just shoot it on over. I know it's out there now.
If we could
anyways.
get the Duel of the Fates script, then yeah, we could probably get that one.
Yeah, come on. Anyways, that the score for those 3 movies, I think, are like undeniable in like their staying power. Like
Mhm.
once you hear the opening riffs, the dun 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 dun, right? Like
Oh.
you know immediately you're
Mhm.
back on
Slapper.
that swashbuckling shit.
Yeah.
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 Ready to just fuck shit up with my boys. Just being
Hell
the
yeah.
boys, whipping out our swords, swashing and
Mhm.
buckling.
Hell yeah. Just
It's-
chopping
no,
up
it
some octopus people.
Yeah, exactly. New version of Chopped and Screwed. Literally chopped.
Yeah,
literally. Yeah, no, it's so good. I of course will always have a soft spot for the Harry Potter soundtracks.
Aw,
Mhm.
yeah.
Which I don't know why, but like my family will just hum randomly. Like they'll
Okay.
just be like, I don't know. It's just one of the many weird things about me and my family. What else do I like for franchises? I don't know.
We could start going off into just like regular film too. You know, it doesn't have to be just
no.
franchises.
No,
Yeah.
only franchises. Those are the only
Oh
things
yeah,
I
no.
watch.
I know.
Yeah, we are brands. I love my brands. Brands are what
Give
art is
me
about.
my friends. Okay, you know what I was listening to again today? I listened to a few things today. Shocking, I know. But I listened to the score for Midsommar again, and holy shit, that is just like so much of it is the sound of just like pure like anxiety and misery. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I had it like on during the day in my house, like full like sunlight, everything, and I got too spooked. I had to turn it off. I was like, this is too creepy. It's really effective though.
Yeah.
It's so unsettling, and it works in a way that's just like, I mean, I think that, you know, sound like such a fucking classic film Twitter stan, A24. Cool. But I have Midsommar and I have Hereditary both on my list because I do feel like those are 2 really good examples of music being used in a way that's like it's elevating and telling the story, but in a way that stands out on its own and is like amplifies the horror of the story too.
Yeah.
I love the score for It. I think it's one of the best scores in the past like 10 years.
Mhm.
And I really like Benjamin Wallfisch. He did the score for The Invisible Man. I think he does a really good job of like kind of creating like an atmosphere.
Okay.
I have, what else do I have on here? Oh, I watched a movie on the plane like 2 months ago, not recently. Um, and I watched Can You Ever Forgive Me? Have you guys seen it?
Yes,
Um,
that's the
so
Maria Heller film, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It was so good. And again, that was one where actually that is a more of a soundtrack.
okay.
It's it's got a great score. It really kind of pulls you into the world of the movie, but it's mixed in with these like old like jazz standards. Like it's such a great soundtrack and score, perfect for the movie, but also perfect to listen to on its own too.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
That's a very good film. Excellent double feature with "Won't You Be My Neighbor." I think that was the biopic name, right? For
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
Maria Heller's a really underrated director. Those are really good
Oh
films.
yeah.
Um, so a recommendation. There you go, another apocalypse recommendation.
Yeah.
Someone
Oh,
Are you
go
there?
ahead. Sorry, sorry.
Okay. A group I really like that have done plenty outside of film as well are Tangerine Dream.
Oh yeah.
They've done great work with stuff for
Hmm.
like Sorcerer, which is like the most stress-inducing film ever.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thief.
Thief, of course, Thief.
I was
A
just
film that
watching it.
was actually Thief was actually planned to have like a Chicago Blue band kind of like style to it,
Hmm.
and then along the process of filmmaking, Michael Mann decided that this wasn't he wanted to be more like eternal, less contemporary, more like timeless, I guess, you know. And so
Yeah.
the kind of synth vibes of Tangerine
Hmm.
Dream, they provide
Uh,
like a little elegance to that.
yeah. I was gonna ask you. So, do you guys know? Okay, because I haven't. I don't follow those much. Are they like they're still performing, right? Tangerine Dream. They just don't do scores any musicals, like film scores anymore.
I have no
I don't
idea.
know. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I saw they were playing in Germany in like 2016 or something like
Oh,
that, but like
let's
I
go
don't
to.
know.
Well, I can't go to Germany now.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
did you
can't
this
go
is
guys?
back to
gonna be a while.
2016.
Yeah. Did you guys see that Tangerine Dream was nominated for the friggin' Razzies for worst musical score for Thief, which shows how the
What?
Razzies are so
Bullshit.
shit. Yeah, they're so full
Yeah.
of shit.
And they also did the score for my favorite vampire film, Near Dark, which is just wow, exemplary. Every superlative you need to show positivity. That's what that score is to me.
Mhm.
It's something that brings me lots of peace, and I've fallen asleep to it many, many times. It's
Nice.
yeah, that's the shit right there.
Wait, okay. I'm not as knowledgeable right now. Is Near Dark the movie with Nicolas Cage and the vampire? Like that
Oh
whole thing?
no,
No, no,
no,
no. That
that's like the Vampire's Kiss or something.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
Oh,
where
Vampire's
he's like
Kiss.
A B C D.
yeah,
That's the
okay.
meme one.
Yeah,
That's the
the
meme
meme.
one.
Yeah, fucking
For a
Nicolas.
second I was like, I mean, I'm sure it has a good score, but like
Yeah.
I was really like very confused. So,
No, no, no,
well,
no. Near Dark is Catherine Bigelow's solo directorial debut.
oh,
Yeah, and
okay.
I kind of wish you'd go back to more genre stuff because she's really good at it.
Has she
Um,
done anything like in the past few years? I feel like she did like Zero Dark 30 and then she's like, I'm out, y'all. I got that CIA
she
money.
honestly, low key,
Mm-mm.
she got Detroit, and then I was
Oh,
like,
that's
I'm never
right.
watching that because I've seen enough
Yeah.
movies directed by white people about black suffering. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard it's
Hashtag.
She did.
very intense.
Oh, she was a producer on Triple Frontier. It's
Oh,
kind of
that's
cool.
she was in line to Triple Frontier for like three
Yeah,
years.
it's kind of cool.
That
Cooler
that
than
she would have
Detroit.
killed that. That would have been good.
Yeah, cooler than Detroit. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Why did she direct Detroit? Like
I
that
don't
doesn't
know.
make sense. I didn't.
She's like teamed up with Mark Bowl, and he wrote Triple Frontier as well, which is like a fine film. But it did need someone like Catherine Bigelow behind it. And I think I even said that on a recording back like a year ago, Shane. Anyways, like yeah, she's teamed up with him, and they just keep making like biopics about the government and stuff. And um,
Hmm,
I'm a little disappointed, and
hmm.
Catherine Bigelow culpable.
Yeah, she's. You know what? She's just again getting that sweet CIA money. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it under wraps. CIA is responsible for everything. Putting it on record.
Yeah. This
You
is
know
the
what?
last podcast you'll ever hear with any of our voices in it.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. No, you know
We
what?
will
The
go
guy in my
mysteriously
camera is an
missing.
FBI guy. FBI is in the camera. CIA is
Okay.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So you know what? Equal opportunity. It's fine.
You know what? That's technically how that would work, I guess. Um, Manhunter has a really good score too. It's pretty
Yeah.
It
spectacular.
does.
It's
I
great.
forget who does that score. I should have looked
It's
that up.
it's a bunch of different people because Michael Mann is a crazy person and I love him, but I would
Oh.
never ever work with him because he's Michael Mann. And I guess there's like a bunch of notorious stories about like on the art, like he fired the whole like art production team, and he was basically up for 24 hours setting up like a kill scene just by himself because he couldn't get like anyone to do what he wanted perfectly and that kind of shit. And so he does the same thing with a lot of scores. Like Black Hat was scored by
Yeah.
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, and there's
Oh,
only like
yeah.
a quarter of their work in the film, and the rest of it is kind of like remix stuff from like Moby to a bunch of
Okay.
other people.
Huh.
Fuck yeah, I love Moby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moby
Yeah.
did. It's like, and then Moby, you did not date Natalie Portman. Stop it.
Yeah. What a creep. But yeah, I don't know. Michael Mann's a weird dude who just makes art I really
Yeah.
like. So
Trent
it's hard to
Reznor-
tell.
Trent
It's
Reznor's
hard to
great
tell.
though.
Oh no,
His
yeah,
watch-
there's like the bits of his score in Black Hat are like ethereal.
I was gonna say his Watchmen score is great too.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Watchmen. The Watchmen just
Yeah.
is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you
I
need to
thought
see it.
I thought I was gonna hate it, and it's so good.
Okay, I'm down to
You were
watch
going
it.
in ready.
Yeah,
he
I was
was
like,
going in like guns a blazing.
honestly, yeah, and it really caught me off guard. So
Like,
I like didn't watch it because I read a spoiler on Twitter by accident, or not even by accident. It was just there. I was just like, well, I'm not gonna not read it. But now I forgot it, so I feel like I can watch it.
there you go.
You know what? Thank God I have no short-term memory. That's pretty sick. Pretty fun. Only sometimes, not at work or in relationships.
oh, sorry.
Well, hey, at least you're not Joe Biden, and that's
Oh,
a big
God.
plus for me.
You can't
Yeah,
remember-
I do enjoy having a solid brain and not a liquid one. So
Yeah.
you
it's
can't
pretty
remember
tight.
what he ate for breakfast.
Although to be fair, I don't remember what I didn't eat breakfast. So haha, joke's on you, Joe.
Another great score is kind of an iconic one. Blade Runner,
Oh,
done by
yeah.
Vangelis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's like the business. And I don't know how we haven't brought this up before on this episode, but every film scored by John Carpenter.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Why is he like I feel like he's just one of those dudes we all just like assume everybody knows is good, but then we all kind of like forget to talk about him. But like his scores are that's not true. A lot of people talk about him. Like a lot of people know his music, but I do feel like if I'm thinking about like film composers, I'm doing dramatic hand gestures here you can't see. I don't think of John Carpenter like immediately, not all the way. I think of him all the way, but I don't think of him immediately.
Yeah.
And I feel like because his films are a little more commercial or kind of like fun
Mhm.
horror,
Yes.
I don't put him in that film like position, which he really should be,
Mhm.
Yeah, and like I've been trying to see him in concert for like the past two like Halloweens now because it's so cool that like he's I guess retired as a film director, but like he's trying to be like I guess he's kind of like he's going through like a rock star phase now because he just like he performs like with his sons like Cody Carpenter like pretty regularly, and like that's really cool that he went from like being like cynical movie director to like rock star who just smokes pot all day and plays video games apparently.
Yeah.
That's what
John
he does.
Carpenter is living his quarantine best life.
Yeah, he's living his dream.
He was born for this.
Yeah.
Like honestly.
Yeah,
You know
he just-
what's
Mhm.
okay? I'm turning it to myself because that is
Yes.
the most
Yeah, go
important subject. Just in case you were wondering. But I was just thinking of this today. I was talking about this with a friend. Speaking of being born to quarantine, like I'm definitely like a homebody, and I like to like hang out and like watch
Yeah.
Netflix, not do anything. But now that that's my only option, I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I'm clawing the wall.
Was it like the Simpsons were on the monorail? He's like, Krusty wants out. No, the world needs laughter.
You know, probably I have only seen 2 episodes of The Simpsons in my life, so I would not know.
Oh, okay.
I know. I just killed the vibe. I'm a vibe.
I did see like a funny tweet where someone's like, I feel bad for the extroverts who are not used to this. Jokes on them for being social.
I was like, am I an extrovert? Because I'm like, I hate interacting with people most of the time, but now that I feel like I can't, it's the worst and I hate it. I'm like, I want to go out more actually because I know that I won't have to interact with as many people. Like I'll be with people enough to feel like a human being still, but I won't have to talk to them or like have to listen to them talk about something that's boring to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna say, like statistically, like being outside right now, I mean, like in certain places, not too crowded, like movie theater, I mean.
Yeah, well, Illinois just like went super, I guess, like preventative. They've shut down all bars and restaurants for the next 2 weeks.
They're doing that. Yeah, they're doing that in LA right now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great time to work for a restaurant group.
I hope they get, like some benefits or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's stressful. Anyway, let's not talk about it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Kyle is my friend right now.
There we go.
Speaking of the working class, this isn't even like count because they're part of the biggest franchise ever. Guardians of the Galaxy, I like the scores in those films a lot.
Oh, yeah.
They're composed by Tyler Bates, especially the second one has some really bombastic moments that just like
I love Groot Spores is such a good little like 1-minute track.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. When Guardians opens and it's that soft piano beat, I think it's called like To the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also the name of the Dragonheart theme that everyone knows, even though that's a bad movie. You know the theme. When I say Dragonheart, you know what I'm talking about. But no, that's a really great score. And Tyler Bates also composed the John Wick films, which have fantastic scores as well. The first film was also co-composed, at least partially, like for its main theme, by Marilyn Manson, who's a weird dude, but every once in a while he'll like be attached to a film, like a low-budget action genre film, like
okay,
and then he'll just knock it out of the park and disappear again. So I don't know what's up with that, but
yeah,
I admire that, I guess.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought, so let's keep going.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I had some. I haven't got a chance to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because they're pretty underrated, not really talked about because no one ever talks about it. I got to Flash Gordon, which is composed by Queen.
Really?
Love that score. Yeah, like Flash, Savior of the Universe.
Oh yeah, duh. Okay, yeah. I know that. I know things. You're glad you invited me on here, right?
Yeah, of course.
Good. I feel better now. All right. Keep going.
And heavy metal, because no one talks about heavy metal, and I love heavy metal, even though it's like probably the most like teenage boy movie ever. Like it's like if a teenager from like an old guy school wrote like a movie, that's what he would come up with. Heavy metal, just with all the violence. Sex.
I need to watch like so many more movies. You guys are like mentioning this. I'm like, I've definitely seen heavy metal for sure. I know that one.
Well, I haven't seen heavy metal either, so we're on the same page for that one.
Haha, outnumbered.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, take that, Gene.
Oh.
Bully. All right, enough bullying.
Some quick tweet responses. Our buddy at BSwaft, Brandon Swafford, recommends Purple Rain for the scores and soundtracks.
Oh yeah, Purple Rain.
At Cayman Spider, Transformer scores, all caps, Transformer scores, all caps, 1 to 5 Transformer scores. To their credit, to Steve Jablonsky.
Oh my God, we interviewed him. Yeah, he's great.
Okay.
Yeah, amazing composer. Like sincerely, great music in those films.
Yeah. That's true. No, that he did a great job with that score.
Oh yeah.
But, I just think anybody advocating that any part of the 5th Transformers is good is a little rattling to me.
Yeah.
I'll go to bat for the 5th Transformers because it's like my brain left my body.
Oh.
Oh my god, how do you guys think Michael Bay like works with a composer? Like, what's
I
that process like?
I just feel like I don't even know. I feel like there's a lot of hand gestures, like screaming intermittently, where he's like, I want it to be like big and boom, and like I just think in your ear, and like yeah, I just feel like he just busts in, shirt unbuttoned, eyes wild, this coke around his nostril, and be like, I need 600 pounds of metal clanging together.
Oh God, honestly, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I,
Knowing
I
that
it's
rascal.
that's his only state.
This is the last one I want to bring up, and then we'll end off by giving one of our favorite composers to leave the people with. But Dan at the Seventh Seal on Twitter, Daniel Lopatin's Uncut Gem score will go down as an all-timer. That's a favorite of mine right now.
Yeah,
Really, really amazing score.
that score whips.
Mhm.
That is a good score.
Yeah, I've been listening to it, just doing random things. Helps me like my work productivity.
Yeah, he has like a electronic music project.
Mhm.
I'm gonna butcher the name, but I think it's Onitrix Point Never.
Yeah.
I just lost all fucking cred in like any industry, but you should listen to that. It's real good. I'll send you the spelling, and you could probably like pronounce it better than I did.
Okay.
Cute. Love that. Love just like butchering a name. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a regular basis here too.
That's good. That makes me feel better. When you introduced me, I realized in the moment, and I'm very glad you didn't say my last name. I was like, I forgot to tell them how to pronounce my last name. So,
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up because
you
I was
said
like,
that.
do I ask?
He pronounced it right?
Yeah, no, you said
Okay.
my name right. Yeah, but my last name is everybody thinks it's Sharples, which is because of how it's spelled, and it's actually Sharpless. That is how you pronounce it. Yes, less sharp.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
I will remember this from now on.
good. You know what? That's all I wanted to impart you with on this evening is the pronunciation of my last name.
And on that note, Staley Sharpless.
Yes.
Why don't you help us end off our show by bringing up a favorite composer to leave the good people with?
Okay. I would say right now it's Benjamin Wallfish, who I mentioned earlier, and Nate Heller, who is the composer of the score for all of his wife's movies. So Won't You Be My Neighbor and Can You Ever Forgive Me? Those I've been really into those two. Oh, and the guy who did the score for Parasite, Jung Jae-il.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's really good. You should listen to it. Yeah. What about you guys?
Gene, what do you got?
Yeah. Oh, favorite composers? Yeah. Just right. Yeah. Just from like any like sort of time period or anything or.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be for now. It doesn't have to be in the past. Whichever one you want to leave the people with, check out.
Yeah. No. Of course. I was going to go with Jerry Goldsmith because I feel like Jerry Goldsmith certainly gets underlooked with his scores for like Alien and Star Trek, the motion picture he did. He does some really, really good stuff. I love him. I've been listening to a lot of Ennio Morricone, who did The Thing, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, all the Dollars films. Like he has such a great like music to him. I love him so much. Always listening to John Williams all the time, and God, yeah, I mean, for new composers, I really liked, was it like Nathan Johnson, Ryan Johnson's like cousin that does like non-Star Wars movies? Yeah. I got really into because I got to see him in concert too because it was really great at the Hollywood Bowl. The composer for Game of Thrones, I'm gonna like
Ramin Djawadi.
Yes, Ramin Djawadi is excellent. Yeah. I love him.
Yeah. Oh, he was gonna be the one I brought up, so I guess.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Well, he's good. He's that good that we're big fans of him. For me, I guess bouncing off of that, Ramin Djawadi, Yoko Kanno, who is the composer for the Cowboy Bebop series and film. So this is me cheating a little bit
Nice.
by going a little broader. A lot of influence with the like the jazz and like those kind of cyberpunk aspects of the series, but also like really kind of earthly tones with like slight banjo influences once in a while and stuff. It's very fascinating, fantastic series.
It's really relaxing too. Some of our music.
Yes, I mean some of it's like really like, and then other times you're just kind of zoning out to it. It's very, very good music in that series. Also, just one of the best series like in general, and I'm not a big anime guy. Elliot Goldenthal, who composed the critical darling, of course, Alien 3 and Batman Forever.
God.
How could we forget?
She does a good Batman theme.
No, his music in Batman Forever is good. There's a lot of good stuff in Batman Forever. I think they've brought this up on the show before, Gene, but there's a vast difference between Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Like, you don't have to like either of them, but there's a difference.
One is a commercial and the other one's a movie. One's a commercial for toys.
Exactly. But Elliot Goldenthal, I think, is a really underappreciated composer as well. And in a better world, he would be like a huge name alongside John Williams, in my opinion. The great Alan Silvestri, who's basically only second to like John Williams, I think. Like that dude can nail like anything. Really, really remarkable composer there. And I guess the last one to leave off with, because I started the show by mentioning this film, the score for 28 Days Later was composed by John Murphy, along with a little like additives from like Grandaddy and Brian Eno and a bunch of other artists. But the John Murphy theme, In the House in a Heartbeat, I think is one of the defining horror tracks of the 2000s, and my life would not be the same without it. It's a beautiful score, it's a beautiful piece, and I thank John Murphy for it every time I watch it. So on that note, Staley Sharpless, thank you for joining us. Where can the people find you online?
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been super fun. You can find me on Twitter at StalesMcGales with 3 S's at the end. And you can find me, or you can find us at Saint Audio. It's at Saint Audio on all platforms. And it's SAINT Audio.
Thank you very much. Links down below in the description as well. And Gene, where can the people find you?
You could find me on Twitter and Instagram, Gene9892.
And of course, you could follow me at Twitter at the Diego Crespo. Check out the Waffle Press on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Patreon, especially Patreon right now. Please help me.
Yes.
And check out everything else we got going on. Retrospectives coming out. Close Encounters episode's finally done. If you listen this Monday morning, it'll be out that evening. So to not as clog up your feed. So thank you for checking us out again, and thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We have been professionally unprofessional.